At some point, something has to change. Not the market, not the strategy, not the setup. You, because the version of you who kept blowing accounts cannot be the same version of you who survives. Hello, trader. Welcome to Mental Minds FX channel. This is the final part of our trading psychology series, Why You Keep Blowing Accounts. And in this part, we're going to dive deep into the real transformation from amateurs to professionals. This is where most traders fail. They try to add discipline on top of the same identity. They try to force control without changing who they are under pressure, and pressure always exposes the truth. Think about real life for a moment. If someone lives beyond their means, borrowing money, chasing quick fixes, ignoring consequences, giving them more money doesn't fix the problem. It makes it worse. Trading is the same. More capital does not fix poor behavior. More knowledge does not fix emotional instability. More motivation does not fix lack of structure. Only identity does. A gambler thinks about outcomes. A professional thinks about process. A gambler asks, how much can I make? A professional asks, how do I survive this? This shift does not happen overnight. It happens when pain becomes honest. Most people don't change when they lose. They change when they finally understand why they lose. Look at your past trading like a mirror, not to judge, not to feel shame, but to see patterns. You didn't blow accounts because the market was difficult. You blew accounts because when things didn't go your way, you became someone you didn't recognize. You rushed, you forced, you ignored your own rules. Now compare that to life outside trading. Think of someone who goes to the gym once, lifts too heavy, gets injured and quits. Then someone else who lifts light, consistently, boringly, and years later looks unrecognizable. Same gym, same equipment, different identity. Legendary traders understood this early. Warren Buffett didn't build wealth by chasing excitement. He avoided mistakes. He stayed away from things he didn't understand. He waited. He protected capital. He treated money with respect. Paul Tudor Jones once said he measures success not by profits, but by how well he manages risk on bad days. That sentence alone explains why most traders never make it. Anyone can feel disciplined on a good day. The real test is who you become on a bad one. Life teaches the same lesson. A calm person in calm conditions proves nothing. A calm person under stress reveals everything. This is where your transformation must happen. You stop trying to be right. You stop trying to win every trade. You stop trying to impress anyone, and you start operating like someone who expects uncertainty. Think about driving. A reckless driver accelerates, overtakes dangerously, trusts luck. Sometimes they arrive faster, until one day, they don't arrive at all. A defensive driver arrives every time. Trading rewards the defensive driver. This is the part nobody romanticizes. No adrenaline, no drama, no emotional highs. Just execution. Ed Seykota once said that systems don't need to be complicated, and neither does discipline. You wake up. You know your risk. You know your rules. You execute or you don't trade. Your emotions are irrelevant. This is where traders get uncomfortable. Because when emotion is removed, excuses disappear. You can no longer blame the market. You can no longer blame manipulation. You can no longer blame timing. Only behavior remains. Most people don't want this level of responsibility. They want freedom without structure. They want profit without patience. They want results without boredom. But the market does not reward desire. It rewards consistency. Think of a job. Someone who shows up late, ignores procedures, reacts emotionally to feedback, doesn't last. Someone who follows rules, stays calm, and does the boring work, survives. Trading is not different. The moment you treat trading like a profession, it starts treating you differently. Not immediately, not dramatically, quietly. Losses become smaller. Mistakes become visible. Recovery becomes possible. You stop trying to recover losses quickly. You accept that recovery happens slowly. This is a major psychological shift. In life, when something breaks, forcing it usually makes it worse. Letting it stabilize first is how repair begins. Trading drawdowns are the same. Legendary traders reduce size after losses. Retail traders increase size. One protects identity, the other feeds ego. Mark Douglas explained that consistency comes from thinking in probabilities, not outcomes. But probabilities only work if no single trade matters. The moment one trade feels important, you are already in danger. So the transformation is simple, but not easy. You trade smaller than your ego wants. You stop earlier than your emotions want. You walk away when you feel the urge to fix things. This applies outside trading too. The strongest people are not the loudest. They are the most controlled. Control is quiet. Control doesn't announce itself. It just shows up every day. And here is the hardest truth. If trading still feels exciting, if it still feels intense, if it still feels emotional, you are not ready to scale. Professionals feel calm, bored even. They don't sit staring at charts hoping. They execute and step away because they trust their process more than their feelings. This is the final identity shift. You stop identifying as someone trying to make money. You identify as someone who follows rules regardless of outcome. Money becomes a byproduct, just like fitness becomes a byproduct of consistency, just like respect becomes a byproduct of discipline. Most traders never reach this stage, not because it's impossible, but because it's uncomfortable. It removes fantasy, it removes excitement, it forces accountability. But if you stay here long enough, something changes. You no longer fear losses. You no longer chase wins. You no longer feel the need to prove anything. You trade like someone who belongs. And that is the real edge. Not indicators, not strategies, but emotional neutrality under risk. That is what separates those who disappear from those who survive long enough to succeed. Long pause. This is not motivation. This is not hype. This is the quiet reality of trading. And now, you decide who you are going to be. There is a quiet moment every trader reaches. Not everyone recognizes it. It's the moment where you realize that nothing outside of you needs to change anymore. The market doesn't need to be kinder. Your strategy doesn't need to be smarter. The timing doesn't need to be perfect. Only your relationship with uncertainty does. In life, people often confuse control with force. They think control means pushing harder, reacting faster, doing more. But real control looks different. Think about someone learning to drive for the first time. They grip the steering wheel too tightly. They overcorrect every small movement. They panic at every sound. An experienced driver barely thinks about it. Loose hands, calm movements, eyes forward, same road, different nervous system. Trading maturity is the same transition. At first, every candle feels personal. Every move feels like a test. Every loss feels like a verdict on your intelligence. Later, if you survive long enough, price becomes just information, not a threat, not a promise, just data. Legendary traders reach this stage not because they were fearless, but because they were realistic. They stopped expecting certainty from an uncertain environment. Most suffering in trading comes from expectation. You expect the trade to work. You expect the market to respect your analysis. You expect effort to be rewarded. Life teaches us early that effort does not guarantee outcome. You can study hard and still fail an exam. You can be loyal and still be betrayed. You can work honestly and still struggle. Mature people accept this. Immature people fight it. Trading exposes emotional immaturity instantly. That is why it feels brutal. But it is also why it is such a powerful teacher, if you pay attention. There is a reason legendary traders rarely talk about excitement. They talk about routines. They talk about preparation. They talk about protecting capital like it is oxygen. Because once oxygen runs out, nothing else matters. Many traders think confidence comes from winning. It doesn't. It comes from knowing you will behave correctly even if you lose. That kind of confidence is quiet. It doesn't celebrate wins loudly. It doesn't panic during losses. It simply continues. Look at people who are successful in real life over decades. Business owners, athletes, professionals. They all learned how to manage themselves on bad days. Anyone can be disciplined when things are easy. But life is not easy most of the time. Trading compresses this reality into charts and numbers. That's why it feels intense. But once you accept that intensity is not required, you begin to slow down. And slowing down is where clarity appears. You stop watching every tick. You stop needing constant action. You stop measuring your worth by your last trade. you begin to understand something subtle but powerful. Your job is not to extract money from the market. Your job is to behave correctly in the presence of risk. Money follows correct behavior over time. This is the part most people don't want to hear, because it removes urgency. It removes fantasy timelines. It removes the idea that success is just one trade away, but it replaces it with something better. Stability. In life, stability always comes before growth. A house is built on a foundation. A tree grows from strong roots. A career develops from reliability. Trading is no exception. Legendary traders didn't rush. They survived long enough for compounding to do the work. Retail traders rush because they are emotionally uncomfortable with waiting. Waiting feels like stagnation, but waiting is where discipline is built. This is where boredom becomes a skill. If you cannot sit with boredom, you will force excitement. And forced excitement is expensive. Many blown accounts come from one simple inability. The inability to do nothing. Doing nothing feels unproductive. But in trading, doing nothing is often the most professional decision. Life teaches this too. Not every argument needs a response. Not every opportunity needs to be taken. Not every emotion needs to be acted on. Wisdom is selective action. This is where trading begins to change you as a person. If you let it, you become more patient, more aware, less reactive. Or you become frustrated and quit. Both outcomes are common. Very few stay long enough to be transformed. And transformation is quiet. One day you realize you didn't feel emotional about a loss. Another day you realize you closed the platform early without regret. Another day you realize you followed rules even though you wanted to break them. These are not dramatic moments, but they are milestones. Legendary traders didn't wake up discipline. They built it slowly, painfully, repeatedly. They failed in smaller ways instead of catastrophic ones. They respected the market the way you respect gravity. You don't get angry at gravity. You don't argue with it. You work with it. The market is the same. Once you stop trying to control outcomes, you gain control over behavior. And behavior is the only thing you ever truly own. This is the final stage, not mastery of charts, mastery of self. And here's the closing truth. If trading has humbled you, if it has exposed your impatience, if it has forced you to confront your emotions, it is not your enemy. It is showing you exactly what needs to change. Most people never get this kind of mirror. If you survive it, if you learn from it, you won't just become a better trader. You'll become a more disciplined human being. And that discipline will pay you for the rest of your life. Long silence. This is where the journey ends for most, and where it truly begins for a few. This is Mental Minds FX channel, where traders' mindset are transformed psychologically and emotionally. Don't forget to press that subscribe button so you don't miss transforming knowledge on trading. Thanks for watching.